Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. This is a B1 level social studies video, and today we're going to be talking about supply and demand. So think about the prices where you live. How much do these things cost? And different items have different prices. So are there more stones or diamonds in the world? Well, probably there are more stones because diamonds are uh, more rare. And which costs more, stones or diamonds? Well, stones, because there's a bigger supply of them, and so the cost is less than diamonds because there are fewer of them. All right, now we're going to talk about the scarcity principle, and then you'll choose the words to complete the summary. You can pause the video and read on your own, or you can follow along as I read. The scarcity principle is the idea that when something is rare or in limited supply, people tend to want it more. This can be seen in everyday life when people rush to buy items that are on sale or become more interested in something that is only available for a short time. For example, imagine there is only one ticket left for a popular concert that you really want to see. Knowing that the ticket is scarce, you might feel more motivated to buy it quickly before someone else does. This is because you believe that if you don't act fast, you might miss out on the opportunity altogether. So, overall, the scarcity principle suggests that when things are hard to get, or people believe that there is limited availability, people tend to value them more and are more motivated to get them. All right, now we'll look at some vocabulary words. Again, you can pause the video, match the definitions with the words, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. All right, only available in very small quantities. That would be number 3, scarce. Something that is equal in value or meaning to something else. That would be number 4, equivalent. A small part of something. That's number 5, fraction. A rule that influences your actions. That would be number 1, principle. The amount of something that is available to be used is supply. And the want or need for a product or service is number 6, demand. All right, think about the scarcity principle and discuss these questions. So how valuable do you think these nails are? Well, there are a lot of them. They're not hard to get. So they're probably not that valuable. They're easy to get. They're not scarce. They're not rare. And so they're readily available. And how much would you be willing to pay for a nail? For a single nail, maybe a penny, maybe 5 cents. Probably not very much because they're very easy to get, and so they don't have a lot of. They're not high value because they're not scarce. All right, so now we're going to read about the changing costs of nails and answer the questions. Nails have been an important tool for building and construction for thousands of years. In pre-industrial societies, nails were typically made by hand and were considered valuable and rare. For example, 12 nails in 18th century colonial America would cost around 2 shillings. The average monthly family income was around 50 shillings. So this was a large amount of money. As a comparison, in 2022, the median monthly household income in the US was around $6,000. This means that in the 18th century, 12 nails cost the equivalent of about $240. Nails are still important for building and construction. However, thanks to industrialization, today you can buy 12 factory-produced nails for much less money. So how were nails made in the past? Well, they were made by hand. And how are they made today? Um, they're factory produced. How valuable were nails in the 18th century? They were very valuable because they were considered rare. And today, they're available for much less money. So they're still valuable in terms of their use, but in terms of their cost, they're not that valuable. So as supply and demand change, so does the price of the product being sold. So read and complete the text with the missing words. In colonial America, nails were produced by hand. Even a highly skilled blacksmith could only produce around 100 nails per day. This meant that the supply was relatively low. However, many people needed nails for constructing new houses and other buildings. In other words, the demand was high. As a result, blacksmiths could set nails at a high price because so many people wanted to buy them. Blacksmiths could make a lot of money selling nails. So now take a guess. What do you think happened next? And explain why you think so. All right, again, we'll complete the text with the missing words. So, because nails sold for high prices, people began to look for ways to produce more nails to meet this high demand. Over time, machines that could make nails were created. This meant that larger amounts of nails could be produced more quickly and more easily. In other words, the supply increased, and as a result, the price fell. All right, so we're going to look at the expressions we use to describe supply and demand. So when demand for something is high, is low, increases, decreases, rises, or falls. And if the supply is high, low, increases, decreases, rises, or fall. So here's some examples. If demand for fruit is low, the price of apples usually falls. When the supply of paper is high, its price will decrease. So read the information below and discuss what you think might happen in terms of supply and demand. So there is a concert organized for the end of the month. The venue can seat 1,000 people. Tickets are priced low at only $5. The artist is one of the most popular artists in the world. Well, $5 is a relatively low price, and the seats are fairly limited. 1,000 people is not a huge amount for a concert. So probably these tickets are going to be sold very quickly. People will buy the tickets because the price is low, and also because there's a limited supply. Now, because there's a limited supply, other people might be willing to pay more than the $5, and so then the demand would go up, and then that would also drive the price up. Okay, we're going to talk about Christmas decorations. How will the price of Christmas decorations change from the weeks before Christmas to the weeks after? And so describe and explain the prices in terms of supply and demand. So see if you can try that on your own. And changing careers, the salary for a doctor at a local hospital is high and lots of people train to become doctors. However, the hospital doesn't have enough nurses and few people are training to become nurses. So the demand for nurses is high, but the supply is low. So probably that would drive up the cost of nurses. Hospitals would be willing to pay nurses more in order to attract them to their hospital. And that in turn would or should attract more people to start studying nursing. All right, so give some examples of prices that have changed due to supply and demand. Think of an example of a time when demand was high and supply was low, and think of an example of a time when demand was low and supply was high. And this can be in terms of, I don't know, gasoline. That's probably a pretty good example. When there are gasoline shortages, the price is high because the price is high, demand is high, but the supply is low. Uh, I know I'm from Indiana originally, and there we grow a lot of corn, and so the supply of corn is high, but the demand is fairly low, and therefore the price of corn is fairly low. So those are a couple of examples, and you might be able to think of some others. All right, now you're going to complete the sentences with the correct form of the words. So you may need to change the form of these words to make grammatical sense in the sentence. So one of the fundamental principles of economics is that people make different choices. In economics, supply refers to the quantity of a product or service that is available in the market for consumers to purchase. Gold is a scarce resource, meaning that there is a limited amount of it available in the world. A fraction of the population may have a significant impact on the overall economy. For example, high-income earners may have a disproportionate amount of buying power compared to the rest of the population. The demand for a product might increase if a popular celebrity is using the product. And in the past, let's see, which one have we not used? The equivalent of today's cup of coffee cost only a few cents. All right, so now we have some reflection for you to think about. What is the scarcity principle? And give an example of that. What is supply? What is demand? And how do they affect price? And see if you can give some examples. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Please like, subscribe, and share. And I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.